So welcome back, guys. I don't have a specific project in mind today, but I do have a couple things that I really need to get done around here. So I'll just take y'all along. So you probably guessed, but we're gonna go ahead and plant this food plot out here, and it's just a little early in our area, but I do want to get some green stuff growing for both season. So we're gonna go ahead and plant this, and first I'm gonna disc it up or harrow it up or however you want to call it, and then I'll show you what we're gonna plant. That did a pretty good job knocking our weeds back. So let's see if we can get some fertilizer on this. There's an endless supply of rocks out here, I know that. The area that we're planting out here is about 1/3 of an acre. So I'm going to put about 75 pounds of 1717 on it. Should be a gracious plenty. So y'all can probably hear that, but my slinger here is having some pretty serious problems. This gear right here that turns the spreader is, or the slinger or whatever, is slipping really bad. So I need to look at this and see if it's fixable, because this thing is really on death's door as it is. All right, that wasn't so bad. I was able to kind of take an adjustable wrench and use it as a hammer and drift this entire setup back so that those gears are engaging a little bit better. I hope it stays that way. We'll just have to see. Y'all can probably hear the sound of my voice. That's why I'm wearing a mask. I've had some really bad laryngitis this week, and I'm just trying to prevent a reoccurrence of it. The fertilizer is in. Before we start on the seed, let's go ahead and straighten out these tines so it's not so aggressive when we put the seeds in. So here's the seeds that we're going to be using. This is winter rye. This is rye grain, not rye grass. And these are forage oats. These are from Real World Wildlife Products. Real World has been gracious enough to donate these to the channel, for which I am greatly thankful. Check them out, realworldwildlifeproducts.com. They've got some really good stuff. Also, this is some stuff I got at Tractor Supply. All it is a clover mix. It's got, let's see what it's got. Here it is. I don't know if y'all can see that or not, but this has got crimson clover or Dixie clover, red clover, arrowleaf clover, white clover, and just a little bit of chicory as well. I'm probably going to put just a couple of pounds of this stuff out there. We're going to put just about all of this 50-pound sack of grain out there, or rye grain out there, probably 40 pounds, and maybe about 20 pounds of these oats. That'll be a really thick planting for such a small plot, but I think it'll be okay. Let's go ahead and get started. There's your rye grain right there, or winter rye. These are our oats. We'll put about a bag full of these out there. That's a spreader bag, not a 50-pound bag. All right, now we'll put about half of a bag of this clover out there. All right, so that's got all of our seed out there. And if we take a look here, we can see that it is pretty thick. There's some oats right there. There's some rye, winter rye, oats. There's probably no chance in seeing those tiny little clover seeds. As soon as I say that, I see one. But anyway, let's go ahead and disc this in, and we'll see how good of a job that does in covering it up. Something like this is gonna put really it's best to drag this in, but I'm gonna go ahead and do this. The oats and the rye will be fine. It's the clover that might end up getting a little bit too deep. But anyway, let's go ahead and do it with this. We'll see how it looks. Well, I think that did a pretty good job. I don't think it got it too deep, but I do think it'll be deep enough to keep it hidden from the turkeys, so they don't gobble it up before it can sprout. There is a little moisture. There's some rye grain right there. There is a little moisture in the dirt. It really does need to rain on this, of course, for it to really take off. So we can just pray for rain, and that's about all we can do. Here's a spot I guess I just basically missed. Oh well. Yeah, pretty good. I think it looks great. We'll see how it works out. And I am happy to say that my weld on this 3-point hitch has held extremely well. This is a pretty heavy implement right here, and that weld has held extremely well. So that's good news. Probably going to throw out a little bit of grain right in here and just kind of scratch it in, disc it in, and kind of right in this area as well. But I'll do that off camera. All right, guys, our next task here is going to be to scrape the driveway. The whole thing really doesn't need scraping. It's just this hill right here. This hill is a very steep hill, and it's fairly difficult to keep water off of it. I've got ditches in it, as you can see, but sometimes they just simply fail and end up cutting and washing the road out. So let's go ahead and see if we can get this portion of the driveway scraped so we don't have to bounce around when we go up and in and out of the driveway. So that was pretty simple, and that was actually a couple days ago. Sometimes it takes me a few days to make these videos, but let's move on to something that might not be quite as simple. Let me show you what we're dealing with here. This is a sweet gum tree that a beaver, we're right down here at the pond, and this is a sweet gum tree that a beaver You can see girdled this tree right here, and it died. And oh man, it's very, very rotten, as you can see, but it died, and now it's just leaning on this pretty healthy oak tree right next to it. And you know, this is just a really dangerous situation. You know, we do come down here sometimes, so I really don't want this tree like this. This is just a accident waiting to happen, basically. So we need to try to get this thing down. So I'm not really sure what the best way to do it is. I'm going to try to hook a chain to it and pull the bottom out first and see if that will dislodge it somehow and let it come on down, and then we can cut it up. But let's try that first. I really don't know what else to do. Let's just try it and see what happens. Well, that wasn't nearly as bad as I thought. I really had that worked up in my head like it was going to be an ordeal, but it wasn't. Good deal. Let's get it cut up and hauled off. All right, let's go do something more fun.